Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode of Tim Burton Month. In this episode, we shall be reviewing yet another childhood classic of mine, Frankenweenie. Frankenweenie is a children's sci-fi comedy horror animated feature film directed by Tim Burton. It centers around a young Victor Frankenstein living in the American suburbs who tries to resurrect his dog, Sparky, after it is hit by a car. It is based on a 1984 short film that Burton directed under the same name, and is a parody of Universal's 1931 adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. The film opens with an awesome spooky edit of the Disney logo, before it cuts to the Frankenstein family watching a 3D home movie Victor has made, starring his pet dog, Sparky. Victor's parents discuss their son's asocial behaviour, again demonstrating the classic Burton protagonist that was discussed in my Edward Scissorhands review.
All that time he spends up there. A boy his age needs to be outside with his friends.
I don't know that Victor has friends, dear, other than Sparky.
One of Victor's neighbours, Bob Burgermeister, tells Victor that he better keep an eye on his dog and intimidates him one morning before school. Bob then reminds his niece, Elsa Van Helsing, who is Victor's age, that while her parents are gone, he is in charge, and that an event he calls Dutch Day is important to him. At school, the new science teacher, Mr. Rishkruski, who is modelled off of Burton's childhood hero and horror icon Vincent Price, explains the science of how the previous science teacher was killed when struck by lightning. The children, who are definitely not parodies of various characters and tropes within horror, do what children do best, and spin all kinds of stories about incidents of lightning striking people based on rumours they've heard.
They built New Holland on an abandoned gold mine.
I heard it was a cemetery.
That's where they buried the miners.
It's the windmill that does it. Turning the air until the sky itself rages against the night.
The weird girl tells Victor that her cat, Mr. Whiskers, dreamt about him, and explains that whenever Mr. Whiskers dreams about someone, that means something big is going to happen. One of Victor's classmates, Edgar Gore, a parody of Igor, then tells Victor he wants to be his partner in the science fair, but Victor declines, frustrating Edgar. Victor's dad then encourages Victor to take up baseball, as well as the science fair, much to Victor's discomfort as he wants to focus on the science fair. Victor actually ends up getting a home run while at the game, but Sparky chases after the ball and ends up being hit by a car while innocently fetching it. The dramatization of the scene is very well done with the first-person POV shot, just before Sparky is hit by the car. The emotion shown in the animation is also very convincing with the way that Victor's face falls when he realizes what just happened. He really does look like a little boy in both shock and sadness at the realization of the worst thing he could possibly imagine happening to him. One thing I think Burton should be consistently praised for with his films is the ability to accurately display emotion, particularly negative emotions, through writing, and especially in his animated films, as his animation style is quite simple.
When you lose someone you love, they never really leave you. They just move into a special place in your heart. He'll always be there, Victor.
I don't want him in my heart. I want him here with me.
This is a very sad but accurate way that a child would act as a response to witnessing the sudden death of a pet, especially someone as close to their pet as Victor was. On the other hand, Victor's mother remarks that if they could bring Sparky back, they would, which I don't think was such a good idea given the title of this film. Anyways, Victor becomes depressed, and during class, Mr. Rishkruski shows the class a galvanic experiment, which inspires Victor to resurrect Sparky using electricity, and we are treated to an amazing parody and homage to the resurrection scene from Universal's Frankenstein. Another thing I noted was that while Victor is trying to sneak Sparky's body past his parents, they can actually be seen watching Hammer's 1958 remake of Dracula, which was originally in Universal's monster movie lineup next to the Frankenstein adaptation. Nice touch. Victor tries to hide Sparky in the attic, but after seeing Mr. Whiskers, Sparky escapes and is seen by Edgar. Edgar uses this to blackmail Victor into showing him how to reanimate the dead. The two try to resurrect a dead goldfish, but something goes wrong and the fish comes out invisible. While showing the fish to his classmates, Edgar finds the goldfish has disappeared, so they speculate that the reanimated creatures don't last for that long. While trying to come up with a winning idea for the science fair, Bob breaks his arm, which results in Mr. Ostrowski being fired. He is replaced by the gym teacher, and before he leaves town, he warns Victor about the implications of scientific discovery.
Science is not good or bad, Victor, but it can be used both ways. That is why you must always be careful.
The classmates confront Edgar about his fish, which intimidates him and causes him to slip up about what Victor did. They then all get the idea to perform their own experiment involving their own pets. The Frankensteins also discover who is hiding in their attic, and Sparky escapes outside after being frightened. The Frankensteins scold their son, but this scene is also quite impactful, as despite understanding that what their son has done is extremely serious and against nature, they understand that he only wanted his dog back and didn't mean any harm. As the other children are conducting their experiments with selfish intentions, their animals turn into monsters. Nassau resurrects his mummified hamster named Colossus. Toshiaki's turtle Shelly, a reference to Mary Shelley, turns into Kaiju. Bob's sea monkeys become the Gremlins, and a rat Edgar steals becomes a were-rat. The evil Mr. Whiskers turns into a horrible mutated vampire cat, much to the weird girl's horror. The scenes where all the animals mutate is very dramatic and well made, and is quite funny when you understand all the references. The pets wreak havoc on the Dutch Day Festival, and Victor helps his classmates get rid of them. Colossus is squished by Shelley in a scene that is quite humorous.
Kill! Kill! Kill!
The sea monkeys explode after eating salted popcorn, and Shelley and the were-rat cease being monsters after being electrocuted for a second time. However, during all the anarchy, Persephone, Sparky's girlfriend and Elsa's poodle, is carried away to the windmill by Mr. Whiskers, and Victor and Elsa chase after them. The town thinks Sparky is responsible for the missing children and pets, and chases Sparky to the windmill with pitchforks and torches. Mr. Burgermeister accidentally sets the windmill on fire with his torch, and they realise the children are inside. Sparky goes in to save them, and Elsa and Persephone fall safely from the windmill back to her uncle. Sparky rescues an unconscious Victor from the windmill, but is dragged back inside by Mr. Whiskers. They are both killed inside, and the town resurrects Sparky again using the electricity from their car batteries, and he and Persephone kiss. As stated before, this was another one of my favourite films as a child. Much like Burton, Universal's adaptation of Frankenstein was my favourite classic monster movie growing up, so when I watched this for the first time as a child, I thought of it as a very cute rendition of the story. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Burton stated that some aspects of the film were based on his childhood, such as there being a kid who reminded him of Boris Karloff, and there being a weird girl and his dad being really into sports. Well, that's all for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave any thoughts you had on today's video in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching.